Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone feeling?
Good.
Good. Very, very good. I hope you had a great weekend. Bright and spry, ready to learn. Well, today I brought in a special guest to help me teach this lesson. He's green, he jumps, and he makes a ribbit sound. It's ribbit, ribbit.
Is it a kangaroo?
My friend's name is not a kangaroo. His name is Franklin. He goes by Frank. And he's a frog.
Ooh.
Can you guys say ribbit, ribbit like Franklin?
Oh, ribbit,
Ribbit. Thank you, Clef. Now, Frank wants us to learn how he became a frog. Frank was not always looking like this. Frank used to be very small. But it's a little different than when you and I were small. We kind of looked the same, we were just very small. You were still very small compared to me.
Whoa.
But he looked very different when he was born. He wasn't even born entirely a frog. He was born as an egg. So today what we're going to learn, thanks to Frank's help, how he was born and how he got to be an adult frog just like us. We're not an adult frog. What? Sabrina has a question. Yes.
Did you bring any real frogs with you?
We just have these fake frogs.
I guess it's good enough.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Michael?
Do frogs have mommies and daddies?
They do. Ken?
I saw a frog yesterday.
Isn't that fun? Aren't frogs great?
I like frogs.
They live all around us, even if you don't see them. The first, Tim, did you have a question or comment?
How frogs are toads a type of frog or are they?
Yes, toads are a type of frog. And we are going to get to types of frogs. You just wait. Okay, the first step to becoming a frog is to be this thing. Does anyone know what this picture is? Lucas?
A fish.
It's not a fish. I know you think it's a fish. I goofed. That's not the first step. It is, in fact, that picture. And it starts with an egg. So frogs start as eggs because they are amphibians.
Those aren't
Can
eggs.
you say, those are eggs. They're just small and clumped together.
But eggs are white.
Chicken eggs are white. Not all eggs are white. Now, can you guys say amphibians? Amphibians. That means that they live in water and on land. So when they are born in the water in eggs. And they hatch. But let's get to what an egg is. So an egg is the beginning stage, and it is also called the larval stage. Can you guys say that with me? Larval.
Larval.
It's a tough one, yeah. Larval. And it's just another word for egg. So the eggs are laid by adult frogs in big bunches of eggs that float on the water. So that's what you see here. So it's not one egg that looks like that. There's hundreds of eggs all around there. And they eventually hatch in 6 to 21 days. As frogs begin to change, they grow through a process called metamorphosis. Can we say metamorphosis?
Metamorphosis.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Let's break it and say meta, morph, osis. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
Congratulations. Sabrina?
Isn't that what a butterfly does?
Similar, yes, but butterflies are insects, not amphibians. But yes, they change very radically through metamorphosis. Cameron?
Do they have a cocoon too?
They do not have a cocoon. They grow in a very different process that we will get to. After they are an egg, they become what is called, anyone?
Fish.
Not a fish, it's a tadpole. You're close, it looks like a fish. It's very fish-like in that it has a tail. But after they hatch from the egg into a tadpole. Can you guys say tadpole?
Tadpole.
Zane, I didn't hear you say tadpole. And it has no legs, which I know you're looking at Frank here and you're thinking, Frank's got legs. He does, and he's going to get them. But when he is first hatched, he does not have any legs. At this stage, he is just a flat tail and he swims. He lives in the water.
Like a fish.
Like a fish. It's similar to a fish. And as they grow bigger, he breathes through gills. So he does not breathe oxygen the way you and I breathe oxygen.
Like a
He
fish.
breathes underwater like a fish. Tadpoles are fish. There you go. Tim?
But how can it catch flies if it doesn't have
It
like?
doesn't eat flies at this point.
What does it eat?
It eats grubs. So it eats plants that grow on the bottom of the pond or river or whatever water source they're in.
What plants grow at the bottom?
Seaweed and other non-salt water breathing plants. Yep.
Never mind.
Thank you. So they wiggle through the water much like fish. The next step, does anyone know the third step in the life cycle of a frog?
Frog?
It is not frog. There's one more step they go through to being a frog. Anyone, I'm sincerely curious if anyone can tell me what the third step is. Tim?
They grow legs.
They grow legs. You're very right about that. Anyone know what it's called?
It's a frog.
It's called a froglet. It's the third. I'm telling you the truth. Frank was a froglet, and you guys didn't know that. Can you guys say froglet?
Froglet.
Perfect. And this is still another stage that he is going through metamorphosis. Can we say that word one more time? You guys are great. So at this stage, a frog begins to develop lungs and teeth that he will eventually use to eat flies.
I think you.
Frogs have very small teeth, but you see how he's got these legs, he's also got a tail. Elizabeth.
Do frogs bite?
Frogs can bite, but they won't hurt us because our fingers are too big. So if you wanna go catch a frog and play with it, it would love to play with you, I am sure. Frank loves making new friends. I know, he's sweet. Yes?
How big are his teeth?
Very small. I shouldn't have said teeth. It's they're teeth in the sense that we're thinking of. But since he's so small, his teeth are even smaller. So after it grows its legs and arms and its tail starts to get smaller, yes.
Does he brush his teeth?
He doesn't brush his teeth. They do not care about hygiene the way we do. It will stay hidden in the weeds, and it will eventually start going onto land little by little as it develops lungs and its tail slowly goes away. And after it gets more acclimated, it gets used to its time on land, it will become this, which we all know as a frog. Looks very similar to Frank.
No.
Now, I know what you're thinking. How come that frog looks different to Frank? Well, that's because that's a different type of frogs. So not all frogs are green, and not all frogs look the same and live the same. There are many types of frogs. Now, can anyone tell me what their favorite type of frog is? Does anyone have a specific type of frog that they can name?
A Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog is a Muppet, and it is a proper name. It's a proper name of a frog. I like where your head's at.
I read in a picture book there was like one frog in like the rainforest with a lot of bright colors on it, but
Yeah.
if you touch it, it makes you sick.
Do you know the name of that frog?
I think dart frog or
It was a poison dart frog. Very good. That is a very fun, very colorful type of frog, and you should not touch it if you find yourself in the rainforest because it will kill you. Sabrina.
Green.
Green frogs. The American green frog is an incredibly diverse species in that it grows all over America, which is not here. Any other types of frogs that people can name? Yes?
Did other places have green frogs too?
Other places do have green frogs. So in Africa, there's a frog called the Mission golden-eyed tree frog, and that is gold too. Now my favorite frog is the Agalectus calandritis.
What?
It's a cool frog. I'm just gonna.
what is
It's a tree frog with red eyes. It's a cool frog. My
Al- is that name an English name?
It's a Latin name.
What's Latin?
Another time, Tim.
Why is that your favorite frog?
Because it has red eyes.
Oh, that's cool.
That is really cool. I thought you'd like that part. Okay, so if we can work as a team to put these in order, I'm going to shuffle them up and I'm going to give them to some of you guys, and you are going to, as a class, try to put them in the right order right here on this desk. Do we think we can do that? As a
Yeah.
team?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Here we go. Sabrina. So now you guys all get up. We're gonna
What
come around
side?
here.
Baby.
The sides I showed. They're double-sided. I know. You guys are gonna figure it out. That was an extra step that I feel you guys are capable of taking.
Right here?
Right there.
Mr. Chris?
Yep.
We need a daddy drawer.
That's a big one, we need a smaller one.
I think this
You guys
is
are doing
last.
great.
That's, no, that's first.
No,
Can't
it's
see.
last, because these
We could do
frogs,
this
all
again.
frog lays eggs.
Yeah, yeah.
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 They will happen again.
Frogs
I think
lay
it's like-
eggs.
Yeah.
Is it like
Mr.
this?
Chris?
Perfect. You guys are geniuses. Round of applause. Everyone, you did it. Proud of you guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay. Now, I have one more activity for us to do before we go home to make sure we really know the life cycle of a frog. So, we're going to pretend to be frogs ourselves. So I am going to teach you guys some steps that when you are thinking about frogs and how they became to be adult frogs, you can do these steps, these motions, and put yourself in the position of a frog. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The first step is
Egg.
egg. There's an egg. So you gotta make yourself an egg. You gotta bundle up. There it is, just like that. So now that you're eggs, in 6 to 21 days you're gonna hatch. And what are you gonna become? After an egg, what do you become? A tadpole. Exactly, similar to a fish, but a tadpole. So you're gonna wiggle around like you're a tadpole. You gotta be a fish and you gotta wiggle around. Use your tail to get around. Okay, now what's the next step? What's the third step?
A froggy leg.
Froglet. So you gotta sprout some legs and arms. And now you've got some limbs, you've got some lungs. We're all hanging out. Zane, you got limbs and lungs. Perfect. Now the last step is you gotta hop like a frog. Michael's hopping. Great, you guys are all currently hopping, and I can see that you are all hopping even if no one else can. Good job, I'm very proud of you all. Have a great day.